also has this theory I've never come across.
Who?
Dr. Barenbaum. Anyway,
Her name is Bambi?
Yeah, both her parents were naturalists. Her theory is that UFOs are actually nocturnal insect swarms passing through electrical airfields.
Her name is Bambi?
Welcome to X-Files Most Unwanted Podcast.
That's not the name of our podcast. X-Files Most Unwanted. You just changed the name of our podcast.
I just need to just keep it going weird because I'm like, I don't want to just stick to the norms now. You threw me under the bus, so it's going to get weirder and weirder. We had a whisper entrance. That's just me just going straight in.
I can't wait for the screaming one when like half our listeners' eardrums burst. Yeah.
Man, you've just given me an idea. Episode 70. Watch out, guys. Watch out. So yeah, this is episode 68.
It is. And Luke, you know how I don't like creepy crawlies?
Oh. Well, you're in for a thrill ride in this episode.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The amount I cringed throughout watching this episode, Luke, I honestly, it just made me like the cockroaches in particular weird me out. I know we'll get to that later, but I just want to get it out of the way.
No, that's a good shudder for the audience there.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you can probably imagine the way I'm shuddering by the sound of that.
So, I mean, last week we had no fluff where we just sort of talk about what we've been up to and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, we didn't.
We could double fluff this section.
Okay.
So, what have you been up to? What have you been doing in the last 2 weeks?
What have I been doing? Jem went on a hen do.
Yeah.
Which obviously Tash went on too. Mm-hmm. So we had a free house.
Yeah, you just decided to go away, didn't you? So
yeah, I packed up. I went to Liverpool for a few days, and that was fun. Just did all the. I come from there, but I did all the touristy things, which I've. You know, when you sort of come from a place and you never really do the touristy stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just did all the tourist stuff. Did the museums, went to the Beacon Tower, watched the views. Did the new Anfield tour.
Did you go to the Beatles Museum, the one in the?
I've been to that one already.
You've been to it,
so it was the ones that I've not been to. Yeah. I went to the Maritime Museum and the World History Museum.
Oh yeah. I wanted to go to the Maritime one.
It was really good. Very good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, so that was. I just decided to go for exploring a little bit. Apart from that, not a lot. What about yourself?
Well, yeah, I mean, the same week, I didn't do anything as exciting as that. I was just too busy doing other things, just hosting and... Hosting. Well, I mean, like, just friends and stuff. I'm not going to go into what it was, because it's very, very boring.
Fair enough. I thought you meant, like, hosting a new podcast.
No.
Better not be.
No, nothing that exciting. No, hosting people here. Like, I was just, like, I had something organised to do every day, pretty much. Like, we went to see... our friend's band on the Thursday. Yeah. Friday I was busy, and I just kept myself busy doing stuff because I just thought I'm just going to be sat in playing on the game else.
Yeah, I was just I could drive myself mad if I'm in the house on my own. I don't know what it is. I just can't. I think it takes. I suppose you get used to it, but because I'm not used to it, it takes a special type of person just to sort of be content. I don't know. I drive myself crazy.
I'm quite good at finding things to do. Like, you know what I mean? I've always got a persistent list in my head of things to do if I'm ever, like, just got 5 minutes of my own to do this thing or something like that. So I just have if all of a sudden I've got, like, a day free, I'll know exactly what to fill it with. Yeah. Like, I tend not to waste... Because there's some times where you can get that choice paralysis of, like, what can I do today? I can do all these things, and then you end up doing nothing.
Just end up sat on the sofa, just sort of browsing your phone. Yeah, I do that so much.
I've sort of taken, this is going to sound probably mental, but I've taken the choice out of my hands. As soon as I have, like, free time, and I'm like, what shall I do? I'm not 100% sure. I've got this app, and it's just like a spinner app. Yeah. And I'll put, like, stuff on it, like TV, play a game, Yeah. And I'll do it, and I'll go, okay, this is read a book. Okay, I've got this book that I've started, or one that I want to start. Yeah. And I just start that off. And it stops, a good idea, it stops me from, just wasting time trying to figure out what I'm doing.
I like that. Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, that's me and my mental ideas.
Yeah. Any other news? Any other gossip?
Not really. No. Quite. I mean, now it's just the. I guess it's the weeks leading up to the wedding. Now I'm sort of.
Come on.
I guess it's similar to you. I'm sort of just like trying to save my money because like we've got that coming up, so I don't want to be skint for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't really want to do anything before then. So it's probably going to be a quiet few weeks, I'd say now. Well, not for you, I'd say. More planning.
Yeah, I've got a few more sort of work stag do's, if you like, sort of where we're going out with the work lot. So yeah, it's planning mostly for me, and yeah, just trying to figure out. I mean, we've got to figure out podcast schedules as well. I don't know whether it coincides at all. Maybe it shouldn't be. It should be fine.
It's on a Sunday, so it shouldn't matter too much.
Yeah.
Like, well, I can have a look closer to the time anyway. And if we need to record one extra episode, maybe it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is off air stuff.
Yeah, it is. We can sort this out another time. Well, sure. Yeah, let's go. Let's get straight to the episode.
We might as well. Yeah, let's talk about some cockroaches.
Let's do it.
So this episode was episode 12, season 3, War of the Coprophages. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Early trivia, this is. Coprophages is the word for a animal that eats dung.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. And the War of is actually a play of War of the Worlds, which is where some of the references come from. Okay. But we'll get to that at the end. Let's start at the beginning. So this episode was directed by Kim Manners, and it was written by Darren Morgan.
Yeah.
A firm favourite, I must say.
Because this is your episode, I did my usual trick of not paying attention at all who wrote it. But halfway through the episode, I could instantly tell who wrote it.
Yeah.
He's got such a signature, especially with Mulder's dialogue.
Yeah.
I could just instantly tell it was him.
I think anytime you start laughing at an episode, it's probably a good bet that Darren Morgan's involved.
Mulder has zingers pretty much most episodes, but I don't know, it's just a special... I don't know. I think he just gets Mulder's character down.
I really think he does, yeah. The original air date was January the 5th, 1996, so we've moved on another year. So I'll get into it. We start off at Miller's Grove in Massachusetts, and we see this exterminator called Dr. Bugger. That sounds wrong. I've written that down and I've only just realised how bad it sounds. He pulls a cockroach off a wall and starts giving this big speech about cockroaches.
Behold the mighty cockroach. Believed to have originated in the Silurian period, over 350 million years ago, they can be found in every part of the world, from the tropics to the Arctic. There exists 4,000 known species, and in a year, a single female can produce over 500,000 descendants. Radiation doesn't kill them. By evolutionary standards, they are nearly flawless creatures, but creatures nevertheless. Possessing only a simple nervous system, their behavior is dictated solely by responses to environmental stimuli. Unlike us, they are incapable of thought, of self-illumination. Compared to the roach, we are gods and must therefore act accordingly.
He's basically been hired to deal with this infestation in Dr. Jeff Eccles, I think that's how it's pronounced, basement. After Eccles asks him a question, he says, "Look, buddy, I'll just kill him." I think that was the first indication. We got this big, massive speech and then followed up by just a comedy line. Eccles looks nervous about these cockroaches. You can tell he's not a fan. The exterminator sprays the cockroach, knocks it to the floor and goes to crush it under his foot. But then he begins to clutch his chest and he collapses to the ground. Well, he collapses up against a wall and falls to the ground while the cockroach that he tried to stamp on crawls from under his boot. Eccles returns, but now he finds that this exterminator's body's been covered in cockroaches.
Well, even as he's falling to the floor, you see this gap in the wall where all these cockroaches are sort of falling out. Now, let me set the scene for you. I thought last night, get ready for this. It was quite late. I left it a little bit later than usual. So I got myself a nice cup of tea. I don't usually drink tea, but, to be stereotypical, I thought I got myself a nice cup of tea, biscuit tea, in fact.
Yeah.
It was really good, very tasty.
A nice comfy scene.
Nice comfy scene.
A horde of
It
cockroaches.
was disgusting. I'm so squeamish.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, creepy crawlies in general, I'm squeamish about, but it doesn't usually bother me seeing them on telly. To see cockroaches, there's something about them that I just can't stand.
So I think they're just associated with like dirt and disease and stuff like that, and they sort of in the same way that rats are as well. Sometimes I think there's that like negative like connotation to them, like instinctively. So
Yeah, and to be fair, I used to have that connotation with rats bother me as well, but then we had rats as pets, and I don't have a problem with rats. Maybe I just need cockroach pets.
cockroach pet. You can get those big massive.
Yeah, you
African
can.
ones,
Yeah. No, thank you.
I did like the irony that the exterminator was exterminated by the bugs.
Yeah. So we think.
So well, true. We get to the opening credits. So any other notes on this opening?
No, that's pretty much straightforward.
We see that Mulder is on the phone to Scully, and I like that we see the bugs on the windshield set against the night sky. I thought that's some nice foreshadowing for the themes that they go into later.
Well, he's actually searching for UFOs, isn't he?
He is.
There were sightings of UFOs, which potentially wasn't UFOs.
Yeah, he's investigating them as his apartment's being fumigated. So he's got to be out anyway.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a jump to go all the way from Washington to Massachusetts, because...
What? He's following a lead, isn't he? He's taking that opportunity. He's following a lead.
He's on the phone to Scully, and he asks her if she ever looks up to the sky and wonders about extraterrestrial life. But she's more interested in this random nature of evolution, thinks that's way more interesting. To which Mulder just decides to cut off the conversation with a... What are you wearing? Love this little bit of flirting, I think.
Yeah, did you see her giggle as well? She's totally into it.
Oh yeah. It's I like that it's been a bit more overt in their flirting.
Yeah.
Like now.
These two just need to bite the bullet and just go with it.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
It's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started the show, and we was like, we think it's gonna happen because that's what usually happens, but we're not sure. It's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
When? That's the question.
When is the question? Yeah.
Is it going to be this season?
No, I'm going to say not this season.
It's going to be like season 6, isn't it? And that's going to be so frustrating.
You're like, come on! A local sheriff, Frass, approaches Mulder, thinks that he's waiting for drugs, and he's waiting for his drug dealer. And now, I'm going to put to you that I definitely think Mulder has smoked a doobie at one point in his life.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Back in his college days, probably. The sheriff gets a bit jumpy about when he mentions that he's sort of a bug on his windscreen, and he reveals that there's these roach attacks that have been taking place across town.
Well, as soon as he mentions roaches, he unfastens his gun. I was like, what on earth's going on here? It was this conversation when I was like, you know what? Because I'm not going to lie, the first scene where I saw like... just like these killer cockroaches and all the cockroaches on his back, I thought, oh, it's gonna be a bit silly. I wasn't looking forward to it, because I just thought it was a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they play it out as ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? They completely roll with it, and it was this scene where I sort of went, I think this is gonna be good. Unfastening your gun and the sound of cockroaches is brilliant.
I think it's a good send up of like hysteria in towns, how stories can just escalate into just nonsense, and in this case it's taking it as
because essentially nothing, they don't cause any deaths really, you know what I mean?
Nothing happens, it's just everyone gets panicked. But so I did quite like that it's basically just a send up of that kind of hysteria that can take place, but over a bug.
Well, I mean, again, jumping ahead for just a little bit, but one of my favourite running jokes about the episode is Mulder starting every phone call with, "You're going to have to come down here, Scully." And then she'd tell him this most logical argument to anything that he said, and she had all the answers. "Do you still want me to come down?" No. It was just such a great little running joke throughout.
We might as well carry on into that. So Mulder goes to the scene of this new attack that the sheriff's been called to. And he calls Scully back, and he says that cockroaches are mortally attacking people. To which Scully basically asked, "Did you just say that over the phone to me?"
I love how she's just doing normal things. She's just at home, she expects it, doesn't shock her.
She says the reports. He says that these reports of attacks are coming from scientific sources, basically saying that the witnesses aren't some, hicks out in the sticks who are just can't be trusted. We see Eccles talking to the sheriff, and he says that every time he closes his eyes, he sees the bugs, and the sheriff just says, "Try not to close your eyes."
How will I sleep?
Scully asks if there's been any insect bites, and Mulder says no. And Scully reckons that maybe it's just an allergy thing that apparently a lot of people are allergic to.
Anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, so that's what we take away from this first death.
Yeah, and Mulder's just resigned. Yeah, you're probably right, Scully.
Yeah. We then see this group of 3 sort of stoner teenagers. Basically, they're trying to.
One of them was I recognised him. He was in. Was there a show called Reaper?
Yeah. I think he was in that. What I'd recognised him from, and I've never seen the film, but I've seen it a million times advertised on Netflix, is Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yes.
He's in that.
He's in that. He's also in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
I think he is, yeah.
As the drunkard.
He's really going up in the world, isn't he? Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not a poo sniffer at this point. So, I mean, we might as well just call it as it is. There's this trio of teenagers, and they're drinking beer and huffing fumes from heated manure.
Yeah.
I like that he says, as he's doing this, that's some good crap.
There's a lot of toilet humour in this episode.
There is. I mean, you have to, about dung-eating animals, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
One of the guys says to the girl that they're with that she really needs to try it. It'll expand her mind. But she's onto them. She says, "It's not my mind that you're trying to expand."
I
know. We then see one of the cockroaches crawl into the wound that this guy's got in his arm.
I can't, Luke. It's just even the thought of it.
And he just starts frantically trying to get the bug out by slicing his skin with a razor blade.
Yeah,
until
you can see it crawling under his skin.
Yeah, I think that's anybody's nightmare scenario, isn't it? I always remember the scariest scene in The Mummy, and don't get me wrong, The Mummy's not a scary film, but the scary scene is the scarab going down his throat. And
the scarab beetles are very scary, yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because scarabs are the most docile animal in the world.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I thought. I don't know why. I just assumed scarab beetles weren't a real thing.
They're real, but they're so docile. They would. Well, I mean, obviously they wouldn't do that, but they don't attack anything. They just roll poo around. That's all they do.
Oh, is it a dung beetle?
Yeah, dung beetle's
same
a
thing.
scarab. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just funny. But, they try and wrestle this guy down, and we see we cut to Scully, who is cleaning her dog. Now, this is a revelation. Where has she got a dog from?
Who looks after this dog when she's away? I thought the exact same thing.
Well, I didn't even think that. I was like, why has this dog never been mentioned before? We've never seen it. Apparently the dog has a name in the script.
Oh.
The dog's called Queemqueg?
Queemqueg?
K... Oh. No, sorry. Queemqueg.
Queemqueg?
Queemqueg?
That's a weird name.
Yeah. Apparently that's the name of the dog. Now, this is just taken from the script. They never once call it that, so, I mean, we've got to wait until we get some audio.
Okay. But yeah, she's washing that dog. It's a cute dog.
It's a cute dog. We get another phone call, and lo and behold, it's Mulder at the scene.
You've got to come down here, Scully.
I love this cut in between. Basically, the only time we see Mulder is when he's at their new victim's house, basically.
And Scully's sort of playing this sort of role of woman in the chair.
Yeah.
She's the headquarters.
Yeah.
And he keeps on checking in because he doesn't know what to do without her. Yeah. She's got all the answers and she's not there. Yeah. He's like a lost child, isn't he?
Essentially, in this bit, I mean, I'll just summarise it here. He explains what's happened, and Scully just thinks that this is a case of some kind of drug-induced psychosis.
Yeah.
She mentions it's something called Ekbom syndrome, which is where you get hallucinations of bugs under your skin. And yeah,
And we know that he actually, he basically says he died because he slashed his own sort of artery.
Yeah.
So far we've had 2 deaths because of these cockroaches, but neither of them are directly caused by this cockroach.
Exactly, yeah.
So you're sort of getting the gist of what's going on here, that all this can be logically explained away.
Which I quite like, to be honest, because
Yeah.
X-Files tends to, you have somebody trying to explain it away, but we've seen that, well, let's say it as it is. You have Scully explaining it away, but we've seen that it's actually true and she's wrong.
And this is the opposite.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite.
Mulder's trying to explain us into believing that it's supernatural when we pretty much know it's not.
Yeah, which is good, because then you can sort of understand a bit more of why Scully is so skeptical about things. So, yeah. But yeah, he sort of relents and sort of hangs up. And the dogs run off at this point. So, he's causing a lot of chaos, Mulder is at this point. Anyway, we're back at the scene, and Mulder's... he finds a cockroach under a piece of furniture. He goes to grab it and put it in a glass jar, but as he grabs it, it crumbles in his hands, basically. And it's quite sharp, and it cuts the end of his fingers. So he starts thinking that maybe this cockroach is made of metal.
Yeah, got a metal exoskeleton.
We're in an examination room later on, and a doctor, Dr. Newton, is tending to Mulder's hand. The doctor's worried about what's going on here, and he's sort of succumbing to this paranoia.
Yeah.
And he starts asking if he should get his family out. But Mulder sort of just says, we don't know what's happening.
How would I know?
yeah, basically. He cleans him up and goes to the bathroom. But we see...
says, something about this conversation with Mulder's made me feel constipated.
Yeah.
He just walks out like, bloody how rude.
He goes to the toilet and we see a bug coming up from the drain.
Another one. I don't know why this one got me as well, where it was the ones when they were just behind him. I was like, ugh.
Do you know what though? I feel like the toilet is an untapped horror potential, because there's no more place of vulnerability than you on the toilet. You know what I mean? Like, you have like Freddy Krueger attacks you in your dreams. That's quite a vulnerable place.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like other ones like that. Like, I guess what's his name? Jason. It's not really a vulnerable place. I guess you're in the middle of nowhere. You're
Is
isolated.
it Psycho in the shower? Is it
Psycho in the shower?
Yeah.
How exposed are you on the toilet? There's nothing you can do. Yeah. Like, you can't run. You can't do anything.
No.
That should be it. That's an untapped potential for a franchise of horror films. What would you call it?
The killer toilets.
Well, the toilet itself doesn't have to kill you, but the killer could attack you while you're on the toilet.
Okay.
Right. Straight at the drain. There you go. Get the intense.
Yeah, I like it, yeah. Is that what you call your franchise? Straight out the drain?
Straight at the drain. No, because the trouble is, that's too easy for the reviewers to get the snarky line to say, go straight in the drain.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the trouble.
The problem is your whole premise gives the reporters so much ammunition.
Straight down the toilet.
Yeah.
All these...
Yeah. Crap isn't the only thing that isn't just the plot, it's also the review or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyway, I do think that toilets should be more horror films.
So look forward to that, listeners, when Luke's new film series.
Direct a film, yeah.
Straight up the drain.
Straight at the drain. We see the sheriff talking to Mulder, and he believes that this is some kind of government experiment done by the USDA, and he reckons that they're breeding killer cockroaches in a nearby facility.
Yeah, they moved in like 6 months ago, he said.
Yeah. He starts talking about some killer wasps as well at some point, doesn't he? Or some kind of a killer bee.
Well, he just mentions that if they can make killer bees, then what's to say they can't make killer cockroaches?
Yeah. We hear a scream, and as they all run to check, we find that the medical examiner is dead in the bathroom. I like that the guy on the scene with his bleach blonde hair just says he was covered in cockroaches, just like in the most like po-faced like way. But these cockroaches have now disappeared as they've all arrived. They find what they think is a dead cockroach on one of the sinks of the bathroom. Mulder slowly tries to pick this cockroach up. But as he grabs it, it sort of moves. He gets scared and it jumps straight down the drain. To which the
He just continue and grab one of its legs.
he sort of like because he grabs the leg.
He picks his bloody legs off.
And the sheriff says, "Next time, let me handle the roaches."
Yeah.
So
And then you've got let's call Scully. Scully.
Yeah.
You need to come down here.
I like how she answers the phone. She just says, "Who died now?"
Yeah, it's so trivial. And he's just so trivial. Mark's like, there's a guy and there's a doctor and he's dead. He's got cockroaches on him.
So he explains what happened. Mulder is now thinking that this is some case of killer cockroaches, whereas Scully thinks, she tells him to check his eye. She thinks it's just a brain aneurysm, because he's been straining whilst shitting.
Yeah.
Let's just be blunt about it. So, and I mean, that's a terrifying.
And it is bloodshot.
Yeah, it is
checks
bloodshot.
out.
Do you know what? That must be the most embarrassing way to go, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, there were definitely more embarrassing ways to go.
I mean, I guess, but it's got to be up there. It's got to be.
What was it in Clyde Buckman's Final Repose? Autoerotic asphyxiation. That's the most embarrassing way.
Yeah, true.
That is the most embarrassing way.
And also, when you do die, you do. So I guess it's both in that situation.
Well, no, at least you're on the... What, are you on about, defecating when you die? At least you're on the toilet. In fact, it's the one place that you wouldn't be embarrassed by that.
That's what I mean. If it's the autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, you'd have both.
You have both.
Whereas if you're on the toilet, you don't have that.
True, because it's gone.
It's where it's supposed to be.
You've beat me in embarrassing top trumps. So fair enough. We see Mulder now going to investigate this facility that was mentioned to him by Frass. He's on the phone to Scully again after he scales the fence. And he starts explaining they start going over the behaviour of these cockroaches. And Scully believes that maybe these roaches are an invasive species. She suggests that he doesn't break into another government facility again, but he says it's too late. He's already inside.
Yeah, he's literally picking the lock as she says it.
Yeah. As he goes inside, he sees what looks like a normal house inside there, and we see the walls start rippling as he's inside the kitchen. And he finds himself surrounded by cockroaches. Yeah. Which I thought this was quite a comical scene as well, because he's clearly panicked and afraid, but he's like, oh no, they're everywhere.
It was brilliant, because he's on the phone to Scully, and all Scully's got is his voice.
Yeah.
And he's just literally they're surrounding me. I can't do anything. Yeah. It's just there's such a surreal thing. Yeah. You can see what's going on. They're just on his shoes, but he's like, oh my god, Scully.
But then
this is my favourite scene.
Yeah, but then he's approached, or saved, some would say, by Dr. Bambi Burumbo.
I'd just like to take this moment to say, Dr. Bambi.
And that's pretty much what Mulder is thinking at the same time as well. Because he suddenly goes into pickup mode when he says he has a few questions to ask her.
Well, Dr. Barenbaum, I'm going to have to ask you a few questions.
For instance?
What's a woman like you doing in a place like this?
Gone to the most basic.
I think I'm in love, Luke.
Okay.
I think I'm in love. Oh, she's so cute.
Wow.
And she's got a little outfit on. Scully
would not be happy with you.
I know.
We see her next as she's just staring at her phone, sort of wondering what the hell was going on there, probably.
It's so stereotypical as well, but but not it's not like it's. You're not thinking oh god, well, it's so obvious that they've intended it for it to be like this. Yeah, it's meant to be almost comical. The fact that she's like almost like this jungle girl. You know what I mean?
You can tell it's been written to be exaggerated.
Oh yeah. And now, I mean, we wanted Mulder and Scully. No, I think this is Mulder's perfect partner.
Fox and Bambi.
Fox and Bambi? Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, it's perfect! Fox and Bambi! Oh, Bambi.
We go back to the USDA base, and we see them walking into a room that's an office set up. She explains that she's been studying cockroaches to basically make better pest control methods. she says that they've sort of been keeping on the down low because they think people will be annoyed if they realise that they've infested the house with cockroaches, which, fair point. I think anybody would be annoyed with that next door.
Mulder hanging on her every word.
Yeah.
Like, she's the most interesting girl in the world right now to him.
He starts asking about if cockroaches can attack people. And she does say that she's seen cockroaches crawl up a person's nose, to which he immediately looks disgusted with. Which he can't really... It's the only point where he can't really hide his feelings on what he was feeling there. But they have some common ground, as Bambi has interest in insects and actually believes that UFOs are insect swarms flying through electrically charged airspaces.
Like I said, she's his perfect woman.
You can tell he's just absolutely enthralled in all this. Like, he's... he seems like he's found his match.
Did we get to the point where the phone rings?
So much so. This is so good. I burst out laughing at this part. As his phone rings, he answered it immediately and says, "Not now."
Yeah, it was obviously Scully.
Yeah,
by the way, let me remind you, the last conversation she's had with him was him screaming, "They're surrounding me. There's nothing I can do. I can't get out." And now he's just blowing them off completely.
Sorry, dude. That was the first part where I was like, it just gave me a proper full-on belly laugh. And it's every time I watch a Darren Morgan one, it always has these moments in it, just a proper they're just really funny moments.
You know what it is? It almost makes Mulder the joke.
Oh yeah.
And I think because Mulder's such a not a serious character, but he's such a cool guy. Like, how many times have we said he's the Han Solo of this series? It makes him
look like a sap, you know what I mean?
But sometimes you need that. You need to be brought back down to earth sometimes. And I love that about him, because it just... the iconic scene for me is that one where they talk about the specimen of a man and Mulder's just stood there. Yeah. Perfect, because he's the joke in that situation, and it does just bring him back to earth. He makes him so relatable to the rest of us saps. Exactly, you know what I mean? We can get on board with it.
And he carries on this conversation, line that he's very interested in insects, which is completely opposite to what he tells Scully later on. We go to Miller's Grove Motor Lodge, and we see an Asian man lying on the bed watching a news broadcast. And we see all these cockroaches surrounding him and sort of crawling next to him.
And the report itself is inciting fear, saying if you see these cockroaches, get out of the place immediately.
Yeah, they say evacuate and all this stuff. Yeah, so it's this really inflammatory sort of language that they're using. We then see Mulder in the same motor lodge in bed. And he calls Scully and tells her what had happened at the lab. I love the moment where he's explaining that he met Dr. Bowenbaum and explains the theories that they discussed. She asks a bit more about what he was doing, and he says the dreaded word that everybody has said once. Yeah. She.
Yeah.
She? Yeah. She instantly is not happy by this.
I love the repeating of the name Bambi.
Yeah.
Bambi. And anything that he says after that, she's not listening to. Bambi.
Yeah, she just keeps asking, her name's Bambi.
Yeah.
Mulder then goes on to explain...
I hate insects.
You know, lots of people are afraid of insects, Mulder. It's just it's a natural, instinctive...
No, I'm not afraid of them. I hate them. One day back when I was a kid, I was climbing this tree when I noticed this leaf walking towards me. It took me forever to realize that it was no leaf.
A praying mantis?
Yeah, I had a praying mantis epiphany, and as a result, I screamed. You know, not a girly scream, but the scream of someone being confronted by some before unknown monster that had no right existing on the same planet I inhabited. Did you ever notice how a praying mantis's head resembles an alien's head? I mean, the mysteries of the natural world were revealed to me that day, but instead of being astounded, I was repulsed.
And Scully asks if it was a girly scream.
It was a girly scream.
It probably was.
It was definitely a girly scream.
We then hear a scream. All the guests leave their rooms to go investigate what it was, and they find this man from earlier dead. Mulder runs in. We get a bit of eye candy here. No shirt, gun out.
Yeah.
Literally got his guns out.
Yeah. Yes.
And he finds this dead body.
And cue panic stations.
Yeah.
Because everyone panics.
Yeah. And everybody's in this motel. From what it seems, they've evacuated to this motel, and they're not safe here.
There's nowhere safe.
After the break, we see Scully packing up, and Mulder calls her, explaining that there's been another death. And this time, it's Mulder who's got the sensible opinion. He believes that this man just died of a heart attack from fright, basically. Scully starts wondering what's going on in this town and decides she's going to head up there and come and see.
No, she's not coming for that reason.
Yeah.
She doesn't want Bambi hanging around with Mulder.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes across as.
Yeah.
And this is where Mulder finds another cockroach from in this hotel room. So he takes it to Dr. Bambi, and he asks if there's anything unusual about it. To which she replies that it's hung like a club-tailed dragonfly. So we find out.
Apparently the what does she call it? The genitals.
Yes.
Is it the genitals?
Yeah.
Apparently that's one of the key ways to distinguish different insect types.
Exactly, yeah. She thinks that it's actually got a motherboard in it. It might be like a mechanical thing. And she says there's another scientist around here that actually makes robots that act like insects. So, and he's actually nearby. So he goes off to investigate.
You've got to, haven't you?
Just as a heads up, if you do hear any meowing in the background, it is Shelly wandering around. We've had to change location of the recording, and unfortunately we can't keep her out.
Yeah, and plus, you know what? We've been looking for a third member to join this podcast.
We do.
I look forward to hearing Shelly's input.
Yeah. We'll ask her every now and again what she thinks about certain subjects. Anyway, we're at the Massachusetts Institute of Robotics, and Mulder's walking down these stairs as all these robots are sort of passing him by. They're a bit bigger than a bug.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But they are quite clearly bugs.
Yeah, they're meant to
look based off bugs,
yeah. And we meet a Dr. Ivanov, who's a wheelchair-bound scientist, and he's working on these robots. He has this talk box that he talks through, and he really, really loves insects. And he goes on in depth about how much he admires what insects sort of stand for, I guess.
Yeah.
Not what they stand for, I guess, but what they're how they act. And he says they're so pure and they don't have any emotions, this, that, and the other. And Mulder is wondering why this particular robot that's been programmed like an insect is following him around. Is it some kind of baser instinct, or is there anything like that? We find out that this robot just likes Mulder.
Yeah.
We also find out that NASA's paying for these experiments. They want to use these robots to investigate other planets because they can be used as better rovers, I guess, like lunar rovers and stuff like that. And they start discussing the possibility that extra.
Are you kidding us, Shelly?
Serious, Shelly?
Shelly, we're trying to record a professional podcast here. Shelly, this is very unprofessional. Shelly, how dare you?
Completely ignore
You're just disrespecting us like this. All of our listeners.
You carry on. You eat your food.
He's just looking at us. Jesus.
Whatever. And they go into discussing the possibility that extraterrestrials, if they're as intelligent as we expect them to be, would probably just send robotic probes to other planets.
Yeah, because the idea being they're far more advanced. So if they are as advanced as we think they may be, like billions of years, then they would have developed bug-like robots that actually looked like bugs, that were small enough and capable enough.
I like how he completely mugs off Mulder's alien theory by saying that anybody who believes that biological little grey men would come to the planet have watched too much sci-fi.
Yeah.
And he sort of sat there like, all right, mate, I've actually seen this, so, you're wrong. They begin to look at this cockroach under a microscope, and he's genuinely speechless. He says to Mulder that this specimen is technologically superior to anything that he's ever seen. And then, out of nowhere, we have a cockroach just crawl across the screen.
Oh yeah, I wonder where he's going. This freaked me out as well. It was so well done.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this cockroach crawls across the screen, and I thought it was on his face at first, but then the camera pans around to the other person, and I know it's literally made to look like it's on the screen.
TV, yeah.
And I thought it was. It got me.
Is this the first time we've had a fourth wall breaking thing in X-Files?
I think so. Yeah, I thought it was done really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's subtle enough where it's not like really like, because sometimes fourth wall breaking stuff can be a bit like groan inducing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like this one, it was subtle, and it's just like little effect.
Yeah, I did like it. I thought I did a nice little. I mean, I rewound it just to make sure I saw what I saw.
What
you
it
know what I
actually
mean?
was. We then see Scully arriving at a convenience store where there's a big riot going on. Basically, people are trying to get all these supplies. We find that they're panicking over these cockroaches, and everyone's got their own ideas of what's actually happening. That they all have disputing stories. She tries to calm people down and tell them that she's FBI, everybody's fine, don't need to worry. And we see two of the shoppers basically knock over they're like a display of like chocolates or something like that.
Yeah, or like raisins or something
like that. And they scatter across the floor. To which the guy next to him is instantly freaked out, thinking they're cockroaches, screams roaches, and then everyone starts running and rioting. This is what Brexit's going to be like.
It's going to be. It is. This is what Brexit is like. We are currently recording this with fires on the street outside. We're hoping we survive enough to upload it, but we'll see.
We might have to, like, sort of find a 56k modem just to try and get this out. We cut back to Mulder and Ivanov, who were having a drink of whiskey, just celebrating, or I don't know, sort of getting over this shock of what they found. Mulder goes to leave, and he finds a cockroach on the floor, picks it up, and says, "Greetings from planet Earth."
Yeah.
He takes it to Dr. Bambi, and she inspects it, and we conclude that this is a normal dick cockroach. It's there's nothing unusual about this one, unfortunately. Scully then calls from the store, and she set up this mini laboratory, I guess, or mini office in the store. And she says that Erkley, is it Erkley?
I don't know.
I'm struggling with that one. They never actually say his name.
I don't think so now.
But anyway, we find that he's been researching an alternative fuel source using dung, basically, as to get methane. And then he's been importing dung from outside of the area. Maybe he's introduced these new form of cockroaches via this. To which Mulder speculates that the cockroaches are actually extraterrestrial robotic probes that are capable of consuming dung.
And they're looking for a renewable energy source from Earth.
Yeah.
Because Earth's the one planet that produces so much methane that they could do it. It's an invasion.
To which Scully sort of says, "I think you've been in this town for too long." But anyway, they head off to this Alts Fuel place. Mulder goes with Bambi to find this Erkley, and he says that she should stay in the car when he goes into the facility. He goes inside and starts looking at these like sort of dung experiments, and then he starts getting shot at. And we find out that it's Erkley in this sort of paranoid state. He says that he's been unable to escape these cockroaches. He thinks they're following him. Mulder says that shooting in this place with all this methane gas around is dangerous.
Yeah.
Outside we see Scully arrive, and they sort of Scully and Bambi sort of meet.
Oh, it's frosty.
It is frosty. It's very frosty. And Scully, who sort of exercises a bit of a power play, I'd say here, tells her to stay outside because it's no place for an entomologist.
Yeah.
As she loads her gun.
Yeah. It's definitely a power play.
Yeah. Mulder starts giving some bug facts to the Doctor, explaining that. Well, I can't even remember what he explains in this part, but basically he gives him these facts to talking about cockroaches, and he sort of wonders how he knows all these things, and he starts. Erkley starts thinking that maybe Mulder is a cockroach.
He basically says that it's because of stress that he's feeling this way, and he's not thinking clearly, and so he takes that to mean, well, if I'm not thinking clearly, maybe you're not really a human being, you're just a giant cockroach. And
he sort of tries to calm him down by saying, I'm just as human as you are, maybe even more. Which, what does that mean to me? Scully enters the facility and calls Mulder's phone. As it starts ringing, the Doctor takes this as definitive proof that he is definitely a cockroach.
Yeah, because it sounds
like a chirp. He shoots, and this causes a fire to start in the methane gas. Mulder starts running, finds Scully, and tells her that it's going to explode.
The whole place is going to blow.
They run, and we get this big explosion. And then we get to see as the final shot of this is Mulder and Scully both covered in manure. As Mulder exclaims. The next day we see the sheriff going through all the list of accidents that this paranoia has caused. But he says that there was no cockroach-related accidents, so, maybe it is getting better.
Yeah.
Dr. Ivanov comes to find Mulder, saying that he wants to analyse the specimen he had again, but he tells him that it's been blown up. And Bambi sort of theorises that maybe they don't grow their wings until later on in their lifespan, so maybe they've grown all their wings and all flown away. Yeah. To which Scully scoffs at and says that's quite convenient.
I think anything Bambi says would just be scoffed at by Scully.
And then Ivanov says something to which Bambi quotes back at him that it's his destiny to do this, which is a quote from Planet of the Apes, to which they both click, they hit it off, and they both go off together. Yeah. As they're laughing and joking about sci-fi and bugs and all this sort of stuff. Scully did, because she says that smart is sexy. Yeah. Scully starts taking the mick and starts saying that...
Well, think of it this way, Mulder. By the time there's another invasion of artificially intelligent, dung-eating robotic probes from outer space, maybe their Uber children will have devised a way to save our planet.
So again, she's having the last jab in there.
Yeah, definitely.
But Mulder stoops down to sort of kindergarten level and says, well, Scully, I never thought I'd say this, but you smell. I mean, they both probably do it this way.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I'd imagine that whole place smells.
Exactly.
Can you imagine an explosion in a manure factory? Jesus.
It sounds like a joke, doesn't it? I know. The final scene, we're in Mulder's apartment as he's typing up a report.
The weirdest report ever.
Yeah. He's writing up a report about... he wonders how humanity would react if insect-like robots visited Earth. And he gives this big speech about that as well. While he's eating a cake, and as he goes for a piece of cake, he notices this cockroach, but it looks like a weird bug, to be honest.
Yeah, I've never seen a cockroach like it, to be honest.
He sort of sees that in his food. He hesitates, but eventually he picks up an X-file and crushes it with it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he hesitates because he makes this big spiel of how when he was a kid, he was so frightened he was looking for something, and then when he saw even just something like a bug, he was so frightened of it that he didn't want to deal with it. Yeah. And how that he shouldn't be like that. And so he hesitates and like, no, maybe. And then he comes towards him, no, bang, no, I'm done. Which is the right response to any cockroach, I'll say that right now.
Well, apparently not, because they lay their eggs as soon as they burst.
They do, I've heard that, yeah. Ooh.
Anyway, that's the end of the episode. What did you think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
This is honestly, it's good, a close contender to break my top 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I loved it that much. I didn't think I would, and then as soon as I got into the episode, I don't know why, there was just something about it. Oh, Bambi.
It's Dr. Bambi, innit?
Oh,
yeah,
Bambi.
I fancy Dr. Bambi.
I fancy her so much. Oh, she's just lovely. She's just perfect, isn't she?
I guess so, yeah.
What's your opinion? Have you got any opinions about the episode?
Yeah. I really enjoyed the episode. It was just fun and
It's so much fun.
A lot of laughs.
Perfect response, to be fair. It was just a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed that side of it.
Now, I didn't think it was as good as some of his other episodes. Like, I thought Humbug and Clyde Brutman was better.
Yeah.
But I don't think that dragged it down, really, because it's sort of like saying... This is a weird comparison. It'd be like saying The Two Towers is the worst Lord of the Rings or something like that. I don't think like that at all.
Yeah.
But they're both three good things.
I think the thing is, for me, I don't think it was as good as Humbug for me.
Yeah.
I don't think you can compare either Humbug or this one
Yeah.
to The Final Repose.
Yeah.
Just because that feels like a bit of a different episode. It feels more important rather than a Monster of the Week type thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just loved it. As I say, it was just a lot of fun. I really just enjoyed it. It's a Monster of the Week. This is exactly what I want from a Monster of the Week episode.
And I really love seeing Jealous Scully. That was perfect.
Yeah. And also Bambi as well. Bambi is the best character, I think, ever on any TV screen.
Wow, that's high praise.
I think I'm in love. And I think
you are.
that's...
I don't think she's been in anything else. I had a look to see if I'd seen her in anything else, but I don't think she's... I think she was in Stargate SG-1.
I've always wanted to pick that show up.
Bullshit. Yeah, I think so far 3 for 3. Darren has knocked them all out of the park.
Yeah. I can't argue with that.
Luke's production notes.
Writer Darren Morgan was inspired to write the episode after he saw the cover of a magazine that featured insect-like robots designed by roboticist, I think that's how you pronounce it, and author Ronnie Brooks.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. It makes sense.
Morgan was also inspired by Orson Welles' 1938 radio broadcast of H.G. Wells' book The War of the Worlds, which had caused mass hysteria, with the episode's title being a direct reference to the novel, with the last part of the episode title, Coprophages, referring to a dung eater.
Okay. I don't really see the comparisons apart from, like, an invasion, I suppose.
I think he just liked the title, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe.
The town featured in the episode also takes place in Miller's Grove. It's a play on Grover's Mill, the setting of Orson Welles' 1938 radio adaptation.
Okay.
I didn't know that, but then again, I've never really listened to the radio play.
Thinking about it, let's think of the War of the Worlds. Let's think they come down. Mm-hmm. I suppose you could take the sort of tripod as like a bug-like machine, mm-hmm. and don't they come to Earth to take don't they use the people as fuel?
Food, I think, don't they?
Is it food?
I'm going off completely the Steven Spielberg version. That's the only version of War of the Worlds I've ever seen. So I assume that they're the same thing. But
I don't know. Sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I can't remember.
Do you know what? Like, everyone shits on that film, like that version of it. I think it's really good.
I really like that version of it as well,
because it's like it sort of takes the best elements of it and sort of puts it in more of a contemporary, scary setting. You know what I mean? Like,
plus, I mean, Dakota Fanning was fantastic as a child actress. I don't know what she's been in. I've not seen anything recently.
I've only seen her in one like short film.
Yeah,
that's all I've seen her in.
But she was just fantastic. Have you ever seen Man on Fire with Denzel Washington?
No.
Phenomenal film, really good film.
It's one of those. It's one of those films that my mum and dad have watched the once when they get somebody gives them a DVD of it.
Yeah,
watch this, and I've been upstairs like playing Call of Duty or something. Like that. It was one of those films I've just never got.
It is a really good film.
It does look good, and I've always heard that it's
Plus Christopher Walken's there, so
well,
anything with Christopher Walken, you get to listen to his voice, don't you? So.
Straight away, yeah. Originally, a scene featuring the sheriff discussing a noted case of hysteria from 1930s was planned to be included in the final episode, but was cut due to time. How much time would that need? then again, I guess if you're trying to get it into a certain every second count.
It certainly does, yeah.
So, the episode, like Morgan's previous efforts, the second season's Humbug, uses a great deal of humour, including an in-joke where Scully reads Breakfast at Tiffany's, referencing a question on Jeopardy that had been asked when David Duchovny appeared on the show.
Okay.
Now, I would have never have got
No,
that.
I
but I do like that it's in there.
Yeah, it's a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah. The show's animal trainer, Debbie Cove, used around 300 cockroaches for the production of this episode, and of those hundreds, only one died during the filming, although it was due to old age.
Oh my god. That's heartbreaking.
Harrowing, yeah. Director Kim Manners was very pleased with the way the cockroaches acted, noting that every shot I wanted to get, they got. Cast and crew members humorously recalled that Manners even began giving orders to the insect, with cinematographer John Barley saying, "When I saw Kim Manners talking to a bucket of cockroaches, that was a highlight for me."
Fantastic.
Several incredibly detailed rubber cockroaches were also created for the episode to supplement the live insects. These props were designed by prop master Ken... I'm sorry for this. Horilloway? I think. But if you have a look at how it's spelled, then, I mean... Ken Horilloway?
I'm going to leave that one to you.
Yep, I don't know. And could be put next to a real roach and no one would know the difference. So there you go. We even got fake roaches on deck. Piles and piles of faux dung were also created for the show by using an organic, feces-free substance.
Why not just use real dung?
I think it can cause, like, eye infections and stuff like that.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
That's one thing I've heard from, like, especially cow dung and stuff like that. Is like if you get it in your eye, you can get like a bad infection.
Yeah,
potentially lose your sight.
Yeah, it would make sense. Seems like a high price to pay for an episode of X-Files.
The episode, this is the one that I like the most. I think this note here. The episode came under heavy criticism by the Standards and Practices Department at parent network Fox, who took exception to the initial script's heavy use of the words such as crap to refer to the excrement that episode's cockroaches fed on. Darren Morgan later attacked and parodied this approach in the 21st episode of the second season of the American crime thriller television series Millennium, called Somehow Satan Got Behind Me. In the episode, a network censor again targets the use of the word crap and storms onto the set of a show resembling The X-Files being taped, featuring lookalikes of Mulder and Scully with the series'
phenomenal
theme music playing in the background.
So good.
I love when you can get a send-off to somebody like in that direct manner.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the fact that crap is, like, the word crap is such a big issue.
I know.
God, it's such a 90s thing.
I know. No one cares these days, do they? And the last one, which you may know about, Chex. The episode marks a rare occasion in the series in which the fourth wall is broken. Although no character addressed the audience, a cockroach scurried across the screen, scaring the viewers into thinking that an actual insect is crawling on their television. Yeah. Which it did. It worked.
I mean, I didn't actually think there was a cockroach on my telly, but it still gave me like a shock.
Yeah.
It still like sort of made me like feel a little bit weird.
Yeah. That's the production notes this week.
Well, should we get a little bit of feedback?
We should.
Welcome to Dan's Twitter Corner.
So it's been a few weeks since we've gone through this, so I'll just pick a few at random, and we'll just sort of go with that from there. A lot of the last couple of weeks has been basically because as you know, I sort of put most of what we put on Twitter. Mm-hmm. It's been me gushing over my love for Pendrell.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and Ray was helping me in my pursuit of gushiness. She said, yeah, Pendrell is adorable, and yes, she also wanted to let us know that red-haired man isn't all that red.
See, maybe it's not just us then. That seems like the worst name for him.
It does, yeah.
If no one thinks he's got red hair, why is he called Red Hair Man? Just call him Hair Man.
Yeah. I don't understand it myself. She did also want to let us know that this two-parter in particular is one of the best mythos arc in her opinion. Yeah. So, and it was a really, really good arc.
Yeah.
Kathy also wanted to make a point on the on those mythos episodes. She put, I love the train scenes in 731 as well. Mulder's ability to joke in the face of extreme distress is one of his more endearing traits. His comments, "You haven't seen America till you've seen it from a train," and "Tick, tick, Scully" are perfect examples. One of my favourite things about Mulder is the fact that, again, I keep mentioning it, that Han Solo-like quality, the sort of just the lovable rogue where he does quip in the face of danger.
Cool under fire.
Exactly.
Everything's going on around him, but he's still able to, joke it off.
Yeah, exactly right. And we'll finish off with an answer to a question that we both asked on the hotly argued sneakers versus tennis trainers or tennis shoes debate. Apparently both right.
Yeah.
Both right.
There we go. So
I would have liked to have picked a side, and then you picked a side, and then we just went to war with it,
and then found out that war is pointless.
Well, yeah, maybe that's the analogy to be had here. That it just doesn't make a difference.
We should all hold hands and get on because it's all the same.
Or we could declare war on both of those because trainers is the right way to say these.
That feels like a colonial thing again. It feels like we're getting in some kind of like War of Independence situation there. It didn't work out too well for us last time, so let's not start that again.
That's a good point. Yeah, so fair enough. There was other things, but yeah, get in touch. Twitter, Facebook, or through our email. All the details are below the episode. And yeah, if we don't read it out on here, we'll definitely get back to you on Twitter.
Yeah, cool. So I suppose that's the end of the episode then. Next week, we're looking at an episode, and I'm looking at the episode title now, and long-time fans are going to crucify me for however I pronounce this. So I'm just going to go for it. Saizoge, I believe is what it's called.
Okay.
That's how it's spelled. Saizoge?
I'm going to say Syzygy.
Syzygy?
Syzygy.
Syzygy.
I think it's a soft G.
Soft G, okay.
Sauce G. No, I didn't say a sauce G.
Sausagey.
Sausagey, I think that's what I think. It's definitely sausagey.
Sausagey.
Yeah.
So we'll look at sausagey next week. We might find out how it's actually pronounced, but
I hope not.
Well, let's go with that. But anyway, we'll catch you next time, guys.
See ya. Just slap our listeners.
Ivanov is I can bit my tongue. Ow. Look at that, man.
We've got bloopers for this episode then.